Hello everybody, welcome to round 6 of the Blood and Tears team tournament. This is the second game, it is a team tournament. We've already had Davo beat Strider. This is my Amazons versus Justicium's Imperial Nobility, and it's going to be very interesting, and I'm going to concentrate. And PC is here, who's also on the team with Goblins, to do all the commentary. So thank you very much, PC.
Absolute pleasure, Jimmy. Really looking forward to this one. Two great coaches, two of the coaches of our modern times. I mean, JimmyFantastic needs no introduction. Justicium, if he does, then you've perhaps been living under a Blood Bowl rock. He is a World Cup winner, a Euro Bowl winner. He won the Chalice. You name it, Justicium has had his name on it. A few years ago, he said to me that he felt he had completed Blood Bowl, that he'd done it, he'd won it. And was sort of semi-retiring. And then, of course, he showed up at the Euro Bowl, both not this year, but the year before, coaching the French team that won. This year, he was part of, I think, Team Switzerland. He's done incredibly well in this competition, sailed through the group stage with 3 straight wins. But, of course, he does say that he feels rusty. Now, I will tell you that Justicium is, to me, one of the 5 best Blood Bowl players I know of on this planet, so I do think he's incredibly good. But we'll see. Yes, Chimera got the first choice. They chose Strider versus Davo, which has already been played. So we are already 1-0 up. Davo managed to beat Strider 82. And then Jimmy threw me under the bus and picked me against the, I don't even remember. Some horrific team that has a tackle mighty blow everyone else didn't want. I think it's humans, so. So Jimmy kicking, of course. So the humans here. Attacking the bottom of the field as we look. And it's an interesting build from Justicium, isn't it? The Nobs versus the Amazons. So we have, of course, the 4 guard bodyguards, and then we have the 2 blitzers, one of which is Bloodstep, the one that's up on the line, and then obviously we have Blood Surehands in the backfield, ready to go pick that ball up. But that's all the skills they have. 2 stacks on their incredible blitzers. 4 stand firm wrestle guard bodyguards, so good at Nobs, so OP that they obviously had a bit of a nerf in the latest rule set, with bodyguards losing a point of movement. No, they are Nobs. I think it's the humans I face. Yes, if you get hatred against humans, it's going to be very, very useful in a league setting, isn't it? There's going to be a lot of times where you get to use that free re-roll of a skull. A pow there on one of Jimmy's line women. First one went down, second one tanks it as well, does get stunned, but he'll just be thrilled to keep her on the field. And a third pow. Wow, Jimmy not getting the dice so far. 30% each of those 2 die pows that we've seen. But luckily, despite 3 pows, only 1 armor break, and that was only for a stun. Doesn't look like... well, obviously 1 was a blitz, but yes, they. So that was 55% because that was block versus no block. But the other 2 were 30% hits, and yeah, 3 pounds. So a nice start for Justy. He's stabilised. He's got this ball in the backfield. His 2 blitzers safe, and a big line of scary-looking Nobs in front of these ladies. He really is, Dimmy G. He really is. And a lovely guy, too. So Jimmy walling up here. We've seen the offense stabilise. Now we're seeing the defense stabilise, pick a shape. And then we'll see where they try and find the space. Yeah, Jimmy putting no assist in, using one of the strength 4s for the blitzing there. Bullshit. You can be mine. He's less worried about that left side of the field as you look, because of course it's 2 retainers over there. Not the strongest pieces on the squad. So that's why he's really solidified the other side of the pitch and then taken his blitz on one of the weak AV8+ pieces, which he got a blitz, which he got a pow on and has stunned it. But obviously no removals in the game yet. Jimmy does decide to dodge out with the last Amazon. And now all 10 are up, only the stunned one on the ground. Yeah, Justicium instantly seeing this space on the left and going for it. Another pow. 4 out of 4. Again, though, Jim's linewoman tanks it. Not even a stun, no removal. It is very frustrating as the offense team when you're hitting an AV8+ team. You get 4 pows, but no removals. That's frustrating. So Justy's responded by really strengthening this line and then pushing both the ogre and one of his guard blitzers up right onto the ladies. Whilst there aren't any easy ways to beat Amazons because they're an incredible Blood Bowl team right now, trying to make them make those 1 in 9s and hopefully catching one that fails is definitely not the worst strategy. And notice the positioning just to the side of that ogre and guard piece. There are some linemen there sort of preventing the attack from the side of the guard piece, unless you're also going to mark up those linemen, which we might see Jimmy do. That wouldn't amaze me. Now, I say Jimmy's been quite unlucky with the amount of pows. That is true, but of course he did get to put a prayer to Nuffle, a plus AV on one of his Jaguar warriors, so that's now a 10+ to remove the guard one. Obviously, that's the one less protected than the blodge one, so that's why he put it there, despite the fact he's doing a lot of his hitting, I would imagine, with the strength 4 piece. And a power from Jimmy as well. Doesn't choose to stay in contact. He's running away, but no armor break. So again, a lot of slapping at the moment, but no real damage from these teams. Is it Captain Oates? Here's a test for you and anyone else in chat then. If you wanted to put guard on this ogre, where would you take the skill away? You've currently got 4 guard bodyguards and a blodge step blitzer and a blodge sure hands blitzer. If I were to change anything, it might be to take the step off the blodge step and drop tackle there instead. But yeah, I think this is a very well-built Nobs team and a very well-built Amazon team. And 2 great coaches. This should be a cracking game of Blood Bowl. Okay, so this time it isn't a POW because of that lack of tackle. But keeping it on the bodyguard, which means Jimmy has to do something about that because of the surfing risk. Now, Justicium here not deciding, he really doesn't have the pace to get around this Amazon team, slow as Amazons are. It is one of their very few weaknesses, is they're not the fastest team on the Blood Bowl field. They've actually got the same basic pace the Nobs have got, move 6, a couple of move 7 players. So Justicium deciding as he may not be able to find a way around Jimmy, he is going to pile in. And that is exactly what we're seeing. He is deliberately leaving his ball based on one of the Amazon line women, but fairly confident that's not going to be a problem for him. With the guards around there saying, yes, you might hit me, but it'll be at red dice. And remember, I'm blodge. Was there a repeat cap? I don't think so, but as I said, I just, made the team I'd used to get here and threw that in. I felt that was Ah, well, it is what it is. I'm not sure I'd change it. Yeah, the stand firm wrestles are always a pain, Steve Motti. That's literally their job, and they do it incredibly well. That wasn't what he wanted. He wanted that one down. Oh, wow. Oh, Jimmy, what are you doing? Okay, so he's, yeah, going to hit and run there. But now he has to defend this line, because if he doesn't, that's an incredibly easy surf opportunity. Gets a lovely pow on that that bodyguard, though, and that should just about sort it out. I think he's still got a blitz to move the knob blitzer that's up in his face. But he has to get something up there, obviously, to blitz it. that may be a little trickier. Now, Justicium did leave that guard piece a little undefended. So obviously there's a chance of putting something in there. Or it's a double rush for the blitzer. Oh, wow. 1 in 9 into 1 in 9. I don't think we'll see Justicium use the wrestle. He doesn't. It's a turnover. So, I don't think there's a way through for the surf. I think Jimmy has protected himself from that. Yeah, absolutely. A 1 in 81 there basically does do nothing. Not what you want to see at this point in the game, obviously. From a JimmyFantastic point of view. Now the question is, can Justicium take advantage of that to get some real momentum? Plenty of time, of course. Still 5 turns left to make this drive happen, but Amazons can be very hard to make progress against. Not unless you're getting this many pows, which Justicium definitely is, but still no removals. Tanked a full-on hit there. Not sure I like that follow-up. But it does leave the Ogre to come and hit the strength 4. Doesn't get any change out of it. That's the blodge piece, of course, not the one that is up in armor. This is perhaps one of the few games where guard on those strength 4 might be a little more use. Jimmy does have 1 guard, of course, but it's 1 guard. Which, according to the maths I was taught, is less than the 4 that the Imperial Nobility have. Yeah, absolutely, Squirrel Dude. I'm not sure I've seen this many Amazons get knocked over without any breaking since the last time I faced Amazons. Now, the problem is these are 2 teams not big on movement. Nobility's real shtick is that you can't push them around, and Amazons is you can push them around, but you can't knock them over. So we might see a long midfield grind here. Yeah, knobs are a long way from invulnerable. Jimmy's going to still want to try and get hold of the retainers when he can. That tends to be how you get some traction, is if you can get a couple of retainers off it, puts you up numbers, and then you can start to pick on some of the other players a little more. We will see. For those just joining, let me remind you, this is, of course, the Blood and Tears team tournament. This is the final round, round 6, and these are the top 2 squads in the tournament. So if one of them gets an outright win, they will win the tournament. If it's a draw, then the two teams below them have a chance to win if one of them wins. But they are a point back, so if they draw, no bueno. AndyDavo and Strider have already played the first game in this round, and AndyDavo got a win. So we are 1-0 up with 3 to play. Yeah, certainly the space, I mean, it has to get taken at some point. You've only got moved 9, even with some rushes. And he's currently still 12 from the touchdown. So at some point he does need to make some space. Yeah, Jim's not going to be happy with that. Really needed a pal there. This is now looking like a turn where the Amazons do have to stay up, and I'm not sure he can keep on the edge like that without getting surfed. I think he's going to have to come in. Yeah, he thinks the same. He's going with weight of numbers, I think, just... we will clog the gap with our English dead, as Henry V once said. Yes, as Dimmy said, Justy really wants to shove these knobs down Jimmy's throat. Yeah, I like the basing the ball move. I mean, it's not terrible, is it? It's only a 1 in 9 to dodge off, but you do sort of think Justicium's probably going to go for a blitz off instead. And the problem is doing the blitz backwards like this is a wonderful thing for arresting momentum. Very hard to move forwards if your blitz is in the backfield. Not impossible, of course. Plenty of times it's been done. It's just harder. So we might see him just block here and then stay where he is. That is what we're seeing. Yet another POW. But those, of course, 54%, because it is a block piece attacking the Amazon. But he hasn't needed a lot of both downs. They've mostly been POWs so far. Gets the armor break. Still no removals, though. Now, as he doesn't seem to be making progress this turn, it makes next turn, turn 6, incredibly important. This, Pedro, is a Blood and Tears team tournament, round 6. It is the final round of the team tournament. Teams of 4. Team Fantastic is JimmyFantastic, AndyDavo, KFoged, and myself, actually. And AndyDavo's already played his game and got us a win, so we are 1-0 up on the round. So yeah, Justicium is taking advantage of heading up this very tight side.
Look at that! He didn't POW for the first time ever!
Yeah, I think there's been one other that wasn't a POW, but it does feel like he's POW'd every time he hits something, which has been incredibly edge case. But on the flip side of that is he hasn't removed anything with all those POWs. So who's to say if it was good or bad? Now the worry he's got here is it's very hard to slip anything up that outside lane he's created. Because if you just look to the side, to the right of the pitch, or the centre of the pitch, but to the right of the field slightly as we're looking, you will see a whole slew of Amazons desperate to come in and bother him from the rear. So certainly the human lineman back there guarding the ball can't afford to go anywhere else. Because the ball can't move. It's hit someone instead. Everyone's full of B&T tonight, Randy. I did see you were playing. Popped in briefly before this all kicked off. How did it go, my friend? Yeah, absolutely. That is embracing the meme, isn't it? Isn't it? Basically do nothing. Amazon coaches do expect that POWs really don't exist on the dice they face. And tend to get very upset if it turns out that they do. So a big turn here for the Amazons. How are they going to prevent Justicium getting into range? He has turn 6 and turn 7, so these are the two key turns. That's a big pow there. A lovely armor break, but still no removals in this game. Of course, that blitzer up in the Amazon's faces is the sidestep one. So this push, it could choose to go anywhere. It could, for example, choose to go to the left as the right as you're looking, the left as I look. Yeah, that is, I think, where he's going to choose to go. Yeah. And the problem is if you hit him from there, of course, he can suddenly be in your backfield. He can break through just by blodge stepping out of hits. So I wonder if we will see Jimmy just leave him where he is and take his blitz somewhere, anywhere else. The stunned body is very useful to him. Even though if it wasn't stunned, it'd be very hard for it to dodge off there and feel that was a good thing to do. Okay, Jimmy's going for the other option, I think, which is going to hit it, but without it having space to sidestep anywhere that he doesn't like the look of. Some pushes there for Jim. Again, another hit he would really like to have seen pound. But he is tightening this space up. Oh, wow, I'm not sure why we're going there. Are we trying to knock the blitzer down? The ogre down after this? Can't be. I mean, we can be. I just don't think it's the block versus no block. I suppose it's a 2+ to push it around. So it is another sidestep. It chooses, yep, to stay up in contact. Knows he needs to get some traction out of this. Knows he needs to be up in the face. Oh, and Jimmy marking that sideline. Does dodge the guard in, so he does get the 2 die on the ogre. Only moves it. He's going to be annoyed about the dice this round. But he has cleared a lot of the decks and tightened the Justicium up into a nice little ball. It might, Captain Oates. I think break tackle is an amazing skill now, and I think we're going to see a lot of it. Only a push in return, so the pounds do seem to have deserted him a little bit at the moment. That was the blitz, so there won't be a follow-up here, but of course that piece is trapped on the edge by stand firm. 2 stand firm pieces holding it there. The ogre stupids. That's pretty big for Jim. Even though it hasn't got guard, obviously just putting that strength 5 piece in the way really means those 1 in 9s have to get made. And now they don't. Oh wow, we're for some reason just standing up on the stupid ogre, but okay. I guess we just want to hold everything in place. And there's the pow he was really looking for up this sideline. Just making all of that left-hand edge as you look. Oh, and a stun on the thrower. Yeah, turn 7's looking pretty brutal. Jim needs a good turn this turn to get some traction out of this, get his ladies back in front, and maybe stop this score. Brawling with the Amazons, despite the lack of removal, seems to have paid off right now. They're in a tough spot. The 4 bodyguards all the way around the ball. That's a nice, lovely defensive position. There is, of course, that lovely Amazon off the back of the group, but whilst it can get some ball contact, there's a lineman there that can clear it very easily. Then obviously there's the one on the edge that needs dealing with. The two blitzers are in a good place, but the strength fours, yeah, I mean, they're fine. And then down this flank, we also have some possibilities. But if you attack the rear of this cage, even if you knock that retainer over, there's a very good chance that Justicium just dodges off, of course. It's a 1 in 9, but that's not terrible, is it? Particularly if it means you can push all the way forward. So coming around the back here, even if you knock that bodyguard down to free one of those elves on the right as we look at the back, yeah. Even if you free one of those, will it, I mean, attacking the back of the cage, will it do much at this point? Who knows? Let's see what Jimmy decides. Okay, that feels like a really nice start. It's a lovely pow on that bodyguard. Oh. No armor break, though. Oh, wow. So we're dropping this girl under the bus. Gonna have no way out after this. Oh, I suppose with hit and run, he could leap backwards, couldn't he? Yeah, and then she does have a 4+ out. Does it weaken the defense too much? I'm not sure it does. This blodge step piece is the nightmare, though, isn't it? How do you deal with that without letting it promote somewhere even better? Gets the bodyguard with the elves in the backfield, so the ladies in the backfield, so that's nice. Freeing up one of them. And takes that bodyguard down 2, so that's 2 bodyguards on the ground, but it's the 2 that we sort of care a bit less about, isn't it? Now, there's a ball shot on here if Jimmy wants it. I don't think it's a very good ball shot. I'm not sure you could take it, but it is there. With the Ogre Stupid, of course. If you knocked over the lineman next to it, there is a route in sideways to reach the ball, but I'm not sure you'd have enough to make it worthwhile. Jimmy instead settles for an assist on that same lineman, but doesn't bother the back of the cage. I think that's probably right. And then pushes around so that he can take this. Oh! Now that's his wrestle piece. Is he going to re-roll or is he going to wrestle? He wrestles! Oh, with 3 re-rolls in hand, I think I might have re-rolled that and tried to push him back. But there we are. That's the choice Jimmy took. Of course, Nob Blitzers, whilst they get an enormous number of good skills, they do not get jump up. So that is going to delay it. Jimmy did manage that dodge off the edge, so that's nice for him. Has pieces back in front. It's a long way from easy for Justicium here. A lot of things are not in great places for him. And he faces a big wall of ladies. The Ogre hits the Zom behind it, does not knock it over, but it's out of the key turn 7. It will not be helping. It will not be advancing. Now, I think I see the route he's going for here. I think he's going to go for a cross-field hit. I think he's going to come out on the right as we see it through that lone Amazon. That's, yeah, right by the blitzer. He's just stood up. The bodyguard, he's just stood up. I think he's going to try and find a way through that. Because obviously it's on a blodge piece, so unless Jimmy can get his wrestle to it, and his wrestle, of course, is on the ground, but does have jump up, then it's going to be tough to stop it. Yep, that's the Amazon he's going through. Gets his pow. He's going to be gone. And more to the point, even if he isn't, he's centralized, which is a very, very hard spot. Oh, and he finally gets his first injury. That's not going to help either. That's going to be a really hard spot to stop him from. Got full action over the whole field. Now, does he run off and potato, or does he think he can stall there? No, it's the full potato. Does he put the rushes in? He does not. Interesting. Okay. Now, doing a quick bit of maths here, I note that one Amazon Blitzer with 2 rushes could provide an assist. And if we can move that blooming lineman and ideally knock it over, which might be tricky to do, then the other one is in range for the wrestle. So this is possibly stoppable. You need to get something on that bodyguard as well, of course, but we will see. There is, of course, a lot of guard in this area, so just knocking the blitzer out of the way isn't easy. That's 1 die at the moment in order to then be able to free the jump-up piece. So some things to get solved before Jimmy works out how he's taking this ball down, but I think he's going to have to try. So down those 2 go. That's the strength 4 piece out of there. That's suboptimal, I would say, but there we are. Does get the POW on the retainer. That's very useful. Now there's a lot of rushes to be done here. 2 1 in 36s for the assist. Makes the first. Reroll on the second, but gets there. Now it's a 1 in 3 to dodge out if he doesn't have another way of clearing it, which I don't think he does. Fails it. Dodge reroll. Makes it. Makes the rush. Fails the rush. Rerolls the rush. Makes the rush. Gets the wrestle. But is that going to be enough? I mean, it probably isn't. That blitzer has the pace to pick it up and get over the line with a dodge, a pickup, and 2 rushes. It has, of course, sure hands for the pickup. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8. I mean, there's a strength 4 piece that can get there, can actually get to the ball, let alone stand just in front of it, which is only 1 rush. But Jimmy, of course, out of rerolls now. So that would be a rush without cover after a 1 in 9 dodge. But just in front of this blitzer, I think is quite a strong place to be. Of course, you also need to get something on that retainer. Does do the dodge. Oh! Fails that first rush. Wow. Wow, that's a 1 we did not need. Yeah. So the retainer comes in. Wow. 2 die to move the blitzer, and then there's no dodge. It is just a 3+ pickup with reroll, and then 2 2+s with rerolls to cover it all. So a 1 in 9 and 2 with 1 in 36s to stop this score. Not lucky with where the ball bounced. Not lucky with that failed 1. In fact, not lucky with 2 of the 3 rushes needing rerolls. So the 1 in 9s went well. The 1 in 36s not so much, or 1 in 6s. Failing fully, needing rerolls, sorry, on 2 of the first 3, and then failing the 4th. Makes the pickup. And there's the score. We are 1-0 down with 8 turns gone. Amazon's not really got much of a 1-turn game, so I think we'll probably see Jimmy set up for the timeout here, but that's pretty bleak for us. Not too much damage, only one Amazon line woman dead. Nothing on the knobs. No damage at all. I mean, much as I'm obviously fully on Jimmy's side here, I think Justicium played that very well. Nothing particularly special in the first 6 turns, but turn 7 I thought was very, very good. It was the right way through. It was done in a reasonably creative and good way. He didn't quite get far enough, but in the end it turns out he did.
God, I'd like to just not be unlucky one time. It'd be alright, wouldn't it?
That would have helped there, Jim, yeah. Where that ball bounced to was just horrific, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then the fail on that GFI on the strength 4.
Yeah, strength 4 on the way really helps, and then obviously I would have had the Lino could dodge and rush and foul, and then it was really looking quite good then.
And another one that could have marked that bodyguard as well. It could all have worked out, but it unfortunately didn't.
But I guess I could have done something a bit better on the turn before when I blocked with a high one, maybe I should block with a low one, and then that guy who dodged out, I just left him in front to really shut down the front way, but obviously that opened up the side way, so maybe I should have gone over to cover the side, but then that would have made the front way a bit weaker. So
I did think the front layer was very well defended, but yes, maybe if you put one less there and one more helping that midfield lady, but then who's to say he wouldn't have been able to push through the front? So yeah, very, very tricky. No real traction on either team for both here. That, I think, was the problem. Leaving, obviously, a blodge step piece to be very hard to stop. But you did stop it. Unfortunately, Jimmy stopped it, but it got back up and ran off with the ball again.
Yes. Pretty annoying.
But again, that bounce was not kind to us. One of the 2 worst spaces that ball could go to. And then with the failed rush right after, and of course 2 failed rushes on the sack in the first place. Really a shit set of dice there.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, timeout here would, I think, make Jim feel very justified in how he got knocked out of the World Championships. But not to be. So we will go into the half 1-0 down, with probably a draw our best result, unless suddenly Jimmy kills half this team in the first couple of turns. It's not really Amazon's thing. Yeah, and not even getting any luck out of these guys. Oh, just not much coming good for the Amazons this game. Wow. Obviously, Jimmy does like to look back on his past games. I wonder if we'll come to look at that 1 in 9 that we re-rolled into the 1 in 81 as perhaps a re-roll we could have not re-rolled, but it's very hard that early in a drive to lose the momentum, to possibly lose a piece, to think it's going to be okay. So no regrets. It happened how it happened. That's Blood Bowl. Right, so the Knob Blitzer's back on the pitch. As I said, no damage on them, not even a lineman KO'd. And plenty of retainers or linemen or whatever you want to call them, yeomen, peasants. Plenty were hit, but yeah, none of them went off the field. So I think at this point, as we're expecting game 3 to be a loss, it's my Goblins versus Siggy, one of the best players on the earth. And of course, the MVP of the recent Euro Bowl. So an incredibly good player on incredible form. We suspect that might be quite tricky for my Gobs to get much out of. So really we're looking for a draw here at worst, which will put us to 1.5 half. And then if we do lose the Gobs, it would still all be on core to get the win. If we lose here, then I do need to get something out of the Goblins. To still allow core that chance to bring it home. Now, while they set up, I am just going to disappear for a second. I will be right back. Okay, so here we go with the kickoff. On the ball, of course, moves Jimmy right under it for the 4+ catch. And then he gets a quick snap. Not a lot of use, but he can monster a couple of retainers with it, which is not terrible. Giving him 2 more hits, much easier hits than on those horrific, horrible, horrible retainers. Bodyguards in the center of the field. Doesn't make the 4+ catch, but did wisely burn a 1, which is always good to do. However, more pushes there. Not necessarily what we were looking for, but you get what you get in Blood Bowl. Gets another go at it. And this time it's the POW. That's going to put it on the edge as well, which is a nice place for it to be left, marked and on the edge. And of course, 4+ dodging for the retainers. And it's a stun. We'd much rather see a removal, but that's something at least. Nothing on the first bodyguard hit, of course. 54% for a POW there. No bueno. Interestingly, chooses to be pushed back. I'm not sure I'd have done that. That gives... yeah, exactly. It gives some nice hits to the strength 4, even to one of the strength 3. If he really wanted it. Which, it turns out he did. And gets a stun on the bodyguard. 2 stuns this turn. It's very early in the drive for Jimmy to use that momentum to gain space. It's not really something he loves to do, but we'll see. He might. Now, the smart money here, I think, is probably trying to use the blitz without having to use it on the retainer on the edge. It's another POW on this bodyguard. This one stands firm. And no stun, no removal, no armor break. Another push on that retainer. This time he pushes it back. So the blitz is not coming over that side. The strength 4 is going to hit down the middle somewhere, I'd have thought. There's a retainer just in front of the ogre that looks quite sexy to be hit. There it goes. Gets the POW. And finally we see Jimmy get an injury. So there we are. One of the taters finally removed. It is 11-9 on the pitch, 11-10 on the pitch in favour of the Amazons right now.
I don't believe
Jimmy
it. It
chooses
is
to take the
possible
strength
to
4
break
back
cases.
centrally. I think that's the right spot. I know between the two blitzers looked good, but the flip side of that, does Jimmy think this needs a re-roll? Let's see. He does. Oh, but it burns it. Now, with those two fast blitzers, certainly one's coming down the left-hand flank as we look. Sorry, the right-hand flank as you look. Yeah. Whether one can, no, the left-hand flank. Whether one can also come down the right. I mean, it probably can, but it will need a POW to. No, you could just put the ogre down that edge, couldn't you? Move one of the line women and then do a 3+ with re-roll to get both blitzers in the backfield, which I think is what's going to happen here. Justicium is a very aggressive player by nature. Yeah, here comes the first one. Interesting. Not its full move. Well, it is its full move, but no rushing. Doesn't feel the need to rush. I do think we're going to see an ogre. No, we're blitzing through with the blodge step. Needs a POW here to really make any use of it. Doesn't get that POW. I don't think we're advancing this one. I think this one's hanging back. Even with the POW, I'm not sure it was ever going forwards, to be honest. Let's get into the mix. And obviously being blodge step, as we saw in the first half, it's an incredibly difficult piece to block in any way. And the ogre comes and sits on the strength 4 and the Amazon blitzer. I don't think it'll be there long. I think it's going to get smashed, but in fact, there's a chain down the entire of this side, isn't there? On the right as we look. If you can knock that ogre over and advance with the strength 4, then you get a double hit on the bodyguard. And you've freed one of your blitzers, which can go around and blitz the line person. But of course, you've still got to pick this bloody ball up. And if you fail, we lose the tournament. Not sure there's many other options, though. So this 1 in 9 is probably for all the marbles, if that's what Jimmy goes for. Okay, decides he'll do a safe move first and put a lady in front of that blitzer. I like that. I think that's the right thing to do, even if that would have been more use elsewhere. Gets a lovely power on one of the bodyguards. Annoying as they are hittable. They are only strength 3. No armor break. In fact, a double 1 on the armor. Now, suddenly, in terms of field position, Jimmy's in a very good place, isn't he? It's just these blitzers that are incredibly annoying and dangerous. But hey, that's modern Blood Bowl, isn't it? 2 players on each team that are any good, and the rest are pretty much filler. I mean, I'm looking at it on my client, which doesn't, of course, ensure that Jimmy's always at the bottom. So I'm moving around all the time. But I can probably move it around, can't I? Right, I am now following the same way as you, so it'll all make a lot more sense, and I'll have to auto-correct myself less. So we have picked the ball up. We have shielded ourselves off from one of these two Nightmare Blitzers. We are hitting the Ogre. I don't think we're advancing to try and keep the Blood Step in place, because it's such a pain in the tits. Only a push on the Ogre. And we've used our Blitz. Now, there is a lovely 2-die from the Strength 4 on the Bodyguard behind the Bloodstep Blitzer. I think Jimmy will take that at some point rather than hit the Blitzer. The question is, what's he doing about these ones on the right now that he's used his Blitz elsewhere? He did hit that Bodyguard, got a double pow. Now he's probably regretting not hitting the Bloodstep. And gets a lovely stun, so there's some change out of that Nightmare situation. Okay, Jimmy's walled up safely and now tries to 3+ off, I think, to come back and defend the ball. No, just to close up the space in front. Now this Blitzer is a 4-3 with dodge on each, away from a 1-die on the ball carrier. Now Justicium, knowing he's got the draw nailed, I wonder if he's got the balls to go for that. I'm not sure there's much chance of getting any assist there, but he could certainly do a 1-die. 4-3, of course, is 75% to make the 4, and then it's a 1 in 9 to make that 3+. So I wonder if we'll see that happen. No, we're blitzing backwards and defending a bit, so that's not a pow, that's a dodge. Well, on one level, Jim's going to be very happy. That's 2 turns, and he has now secured the ball and has a decent defensive position. And of course, he is still 1 player up. He has got a removal on the knobs. And at the moment, most of the stuns are coming in Jimmy's direction. Bloodstep does make its dodge out. That piece failing a dodge and dying would be bloody handy, wouldn't it? Now, can you see the space, guys? It is. It's the B&T, not the World Cup. And I thought the title has changed, so perhaps you just want to refresh your browser. So Jimmy centralizing, and it looks like he is going to attack up this left flank, which is definitely the direction I would be going in. There's a nice easy 2-guard die on a bodyguard there. There's a lodge piece that can be both hit and then blitzed, but no, he goes for the blitz on the bodyguard. Oh, sorry, on the retainer, takes it, gets the down, and now has the 2-die on the bodyguard. So those were the 2 hits I thought would take. And Jimmy does what I believe is colloquially known as putting a piece into Narnia. Sending a lady up into the backfield, just causing Justicium some concerns, some things to worry about. Gets another pow on these bodyguards who are really tanking these hits, but surely we've got to see a 9 or over, a 10 or over at some point. That isn't just a stun. So far they've all been stuns if we broken armor. There's a lot to like about the shape this turn. Does Justicium take this lady in the backfield seriously? There's lots she can do there. What you're really hoping for is they distract some of the defense to give you a route through, but even if they don't, then she can join on the back of any shape to provide a good assist or to keep something in place. There's a lot you can do with a single player in the backfield. Another big power from Justicium there. I think tying up this left-hand flank pretty notably. It's going to be hard to find a way through. The Amazon lineman tanks that hit though. AV8+ holding up well there. Justicium completely ignoring the linewoman in the backfield, as most players at this point in the drive would do. There's, of course, almost no chance of Jimmy trying to get the ball to that player and it running off, because he would be scoring way too early, and Jimmy doesn't like that. Although, you know, going 1-1 against Nobs early with giving them only, say, 4 turns back, I can see that working. I can see it being defendable. But getting the ball there is not easy, to put it bloody mildly. Oh, any breakthrough's hard against all this stand firm. You kind of need a turn where you stun a couple of them or remove one. Because you need to get them out of position. It's very hard to do when you're just going side to side like this. As we saw, even Justicium, you know, had to potato through with his blodge piece, hoping desperately it wouldn't get sacked. When it did, he had to get lucky on the bounce, and then he did. And then Jimmy failed a rush, which probably would have tied it up and made it very hard to score. And it needed every pace it had to pick the ball up and get over the line. It couldn't afford to blitz, it couldn't afford to go backwards, it had to go to the side one and then straight over the line. Jimmy gets a lovely big power on the retainer there. Again, he's looking to try and snipe a couple of these AV8 plus pieces, make some space by creating less players to face. Nope, just a stun. Yeah, new Nurgle, the minute I saw those, I thought of you and Bart, and I thought, oh dear, London's going to be full of Nurgle next year. And if people think facing dwarves is annoying, you should wait till you face new Nurgle. There's just not even any point in hitting the bloaters. You've got a pass foul appearance to do it. Then you're hitting something that's strength 4. It's got stand firm. And if you knock it over, it's got pygmy up on the beast of Nurgle to just stand it back up. Literally, I just don't see any point in hitting them. No, they don't have stand firm. They have stink me up, yeah. Yes, it's not pig me up, it's stink me up, isn't it? It is. It's something incredibly bad. That's all I fully remember. I'm just going to look it up now because it's annoying me that I don't remember. But with so many changes to so many teams, it's hard to keep them all in your head, particularly if it's something like Nurgle that most people don't give a shit about outside of you, Captain Oates. Yes, bloaters do, as I thought, now have stand firm and foul appearance. They're still plague ridden, they still regenerate, they still have disturbing presence. They also are unsteady, so at least they can't pick the damn ball up. But yeah, so if you try and push them back, you can't. If you power them, they can just pig me up or stink me back up and then hit you. And that's if you pass the foul appearance in the first place. What? And they're AV10 plus with regenerate. So what the hell is the point in hitting bloaters? Why would you do that? So I'm recommending all dwarf coaches move to Nurgle. And then we'll see how people like killing dwarves and pushing control players onto a team that comes with 4 strength 4, a strength 5, stand firm on the strength 4, pick me up on the strength 5 for all the pieces on its team, of course. And foul appearance on the 5s and the 4s. It's going to be very, very, very much better than it's been so far. Will it be good? I don't know. I really don't know. So hard to tell. There's some teams that are obviously going to be up towards the end of the top end of the meta. Some teams like Nurgle, they're still shit at Blood Bowl. But yeah, they've had a lot of bonuses. The Pestigores, of course, have gone down to 2, but they've gained steady footing and thick skull. So even though there's only 2, getting them off the pitch is going to be harder. And with steady footing, anytime you knock them over, there's a 1 in 6 you haven't. So it's just going to be basically Nurgle has leaned in to being what has always been called a stymie team. Where yes, you might get removals and you control the space, but you're also you're stymieing the opposition from doing anything, preventing them moving forward, preventing them finding space. Now, speaking of finding space, Jimmy has found some space. He has slipped another lady through into Narnia. The question in everyone's head is the ball following or not? Now, it can get up ahead of this shape if it does 2 rushes, but he's choosing not to. It would have been a lot of rushes to get enough ladies up there to defend it well. I mean, I like taking space, and I might have done it, but I'm not amazed Jimmy didn't. It wasn't certainly a lovely, easy thing. But the idea of leaving all those bodyguards behind whilst pushing up and mainly facing the 2 blitzers and a retainer or 2, it was quite appealing, but it was also an incredibly risky idea. What he's really looking for here is for Justicium to overcommit to trying to attack this cage or get a turn where he doesn't knock everything over. Yeah, Squirrel Dude, absolutely. So we got rid of dwarves that everyone moaned about, and if you thought dwarves were annoying, good. You're going to love facing Nurgle. People, literally, there's going to be, people are going to leave Blood Bowl over I had to face a Nurgle team. I never want to play this game again. Well, this doesn't work. I mean, the problem here is there's something wonderful you can do, but you force yourself into an enormous amount of risk by doing it. You can, of course, surf the blodge step. Unless Justicium changes this shape. It is for those of you that love Nurgle, Captain Oaks. For those of us that love Blood Bowl, it's a concern. Lots of reasons why, but like I said, one of them is it just going to upset people so much that really the moaning about dwarves starts to sound pleasant and easy to deal with? Because people are so upset about facing Nurgle. Now, he's powered one of the strength 4s, the blodge piece is going down.
Do you know what? I had a dream that a guy wasn't knocked over when he was hit, but it must have...
The shout of the lonely Amazon.
It really is, isn't it? It's such a meme, but like he's really powered every hit. It's been crazy.
There has been an enormous numbers of pows, yes. Yeah. Yes, that has been a thing.
Now
okay, final bodyguard is dodging out, not taking on that strength 4. Makes the 3+. And is it going to defend these 2 from the very obvious and easy surf? And is the surf even worth going for? Because it's going to expose at least 2 Amazons to a surf back. But it gets rid of the annoying blodge step. I mean, keeping the ball saved afterwards might be a pain, but you could always try and swap sides or something. I don't know. Let's see what Jimmy does. Okay, so we start with a push. That's always fun. Now it is turn 14. Jimmy does have to find a way through at some point. Doesn't have to be this turn, but if it isn't, it has to be next. And that's not going to do it.
I really hate Imperial Nobility with a burning passion. I think they are trash. Trash.
The problem, of course, is the 2 blitzers.
Is trash.
Firstly, because they've just been a fucking problem all game. But the
second
is, if you don't... Okay. I was just thinking if you it is possible to throw the ball to that blitzer in the backfield and just be away, but it's a hell of a risk. I mean, it's a 4+ to get it there, so it would have been a 3 out of 4 to get the ball there. Then you've got to catch it. You've got to make sure no one intercepts, and there's 2 catch pieces there that were on the interception line. So even if you're going to do it, that's probably not the turn to do it. But it certainly might be an option. As breaking through here, it's looking, I mean, it's not looking like it's going to happen, frankly, is it, at the moment? Another push for Jim there. Yep, centralizes that blitzer so it can help wherever it's needed. And then the blitzer's on the retainer. Finally gets a POW this turn. Nice to see. Hasn't been many of them. And is rewarded with a stun at least, so that's not so bad. Oh, Jim. Jim centralizes there, which I'm not sure is what I'd have done. I think I'd have pushed up the left flank. Takes the 1 die on. That's interesting. Gets the fend, so it's staying on the ogre. Surely the other one's dodging off, but it's got nowhere really to go. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think with 2 ladies 4 apart in front of the ball, I think I would have pushed that strength 4 up the left. I do think that was a mistake, but I might be wrong. It might create the space next turn, because it does mean all the bodyguards are pretty busy. Well, 2 of them. Plus, it sort of narrowed the defensive front, whereas I would be trying to widen it. Now he is taking the blitzer in the backfield seriously. But all Justicium has to do here is stop the score, of course, does not have to turn him over. The surf, no, the 2 round the back. I mean, actually, because I could defend the front ones easier, I'd have put 2 on the side from the front. The disposable line woman that's on the ground in the back would have gone on the edge, and then the blitzer in the backfield would have done the blitz and then hit and run away. So it would have been a 1 die, but it would have got the surf of the blodge step on a 3+, which I would have re-rolled. Was it? Okay, then I wouldn't have been able to. But I definitely think I'd have gone up the left flank, because I just don't see a way through here right now. I mean, there is, but it involves a hell of a lot of 3+. Hell of a lot of 3+. Yes, maybe you could get away with it on tabletop, although nowadays we all use stunned markers, so probably not. Oh dear, this is tough. I mean, the problem is the way through I see just doesn't work unless you get a 1 die POW on a blodge piece. Or if you move it, you're looking at 2 3+. Okay, so we put the assist in that way. So we are doing a 2 die on that blodge piece. And then we are 3+ing through to just try and get some ladies up the field. We don't get the POW. And with that assist in the position it's in, that's the space that we were going to use to do the 3+, so we can't do that either. Oh dear. So instead we pull back, which... Okay, if we power this... Okay, so we can get through. Right. Nice, Jim. Nice. All right. I confess I didn't see that. So it's a 3+ to get through now. And we do have 4 ladies that haven't activated. If they can all make a 3+, we can get forwards and make a cage. 4 1-in-9s. What do you reckon? What are Jimmy's odds of that working? Although if we can get up, we can at least just, yeah, exactly. We can put an assist in, and then one of them isn't. We have to dodge off this retainer. We can just smash it in the face. Oh, can we though? Oh, we can, because they're both down as a serious injury, so it won't be standing up on our ball. Now, we just need something to defend this desperate potato. Oh, wow. Okay. We're going to screen. I guess because we're so concerned about whether we get enough ladies through. With all the bodyguards on the left of the picture to some degree and the 2 horrible blitzers on the right to some degree, it's a horrible, horrible situation, isn't it? But not necessarily unsolvable if we can make these 1-in-9s. Oh, we're re-rolling the first one. And we fail that very, very first one. So we got the ball through, but nothing else. Jim officially not having the luck of the dice this week. This looks a very, very bad situation for us. There are 2 ladies in range. He can't blitz them both. But, yeah. And they are both blodge. If only he didn't have, you know, very easily accessible wrestle pieces. But also nothing moves for free, so he does have to make a 1-in-9 himself to get there. Interesting choosing not to provide an assist and blitz with one of his wrestle players, so that's interesting as a choice. He's surely not going to hit it with a blodge piece, he's surely going to go with a wrestle piece. So that means it's a 3+ dodge to get there. I thought it would be a 3+ for the assist, but he's decided to put the assist in and then 3+ for the hit. I suppose that leaves the 2 blitzers to come and sweep the ball up and then defend it, so it's probably the right choice. And certainly if just anyone knows high-stakes gaming, it's Justy. He makes the dodge, takes the hit, does not get a power of both down. We're going to see the reroll go in. We do. Gets his pow. That's probably all she wrote. We needed that to not be a pow. Do we get a good bounce? No. Good bounce there would have been in the tackle zone of the blitzer. That's the worst possible bounce. Goes with the sure hands. Picks it up. No 1-in-9 fails for Justicium today. Stands behind the guard. Wow. Very tough position for Jim here. Still not impossible. We still have 1 lady in range that can't be knocked over. But it is a tough spot. There's no denying that. Yeah, a little surprised the retainer stood up that late. I never thought it was going anywhere other than there, but possibly one to the right of there as we look as well. Oh, we need the re-roll for this dodge. Are we going to put it in? Last re-roll, but we make it. And we slide into possibly the worst place for us on the pitch. So there we are. Oh dear. And unfortunately, because of where that stunned Amazon thrower is, the wrestle piece can't get to the ball to sack it. So that's really bad. Needs another dodge on this one. Gets a 2 and finally fails a 1-in-9. Okay, so we do have a little bit of agency, but it's still incredibly hard to see how this gets done. Not impossible, but just really, really hard. We can certainly get a 1 die on the ball, but then we're going to need a 6. And then even then, how the hell do we score it? That was the piece I was going to hit with. So we go with the wrestle on a 1 die. Get a skull, re-roll it. We get the pow. Okay, so you're telling me there's a chance. Need a good bounce here away from the pieces. Of course it's into both tackle zones. Oh. Which I think we have to go through the middle. I don't think there's another way. Well, so we either 5-4, 5-5 pick up, pre, or we 4-4-4 around the edge. No, we try and go through the middle, and it fails.
Well, what a load of shit. I'm sick of getting diced, honestly. Fucking B&T's been rubbish, and the bloody World Cup's been rubbish as well.
Yeah, I have to say, Jim, whilst no one plays perfect, I didn't think he did much wrong there. I thought Justicium played great, but he also just had much, much better dice.
Yeah, yeah. You know, maybe I should have stopped the centre thing over, but then it would have left open the other thing. I just didn't hurt him at all in the first half, did I? It was just brutal. Like, I just kept punching his AV7 guys, kept powering his wrestlers, nothing. Then just pushed all of his wrestlers when I wanted to do something. It was just horrible. Like, you're going to get that, obviously, right? You only 55% knock them over. So, like, I don't expect to just kill everything every time I hit it, but, like, fuck's sake, I really was hammering the rubbish linos. And then eventually paid off at the end. And I just needed that 1-3 plus. Actually, I probably didn't.
Yep.
That one. The thing is, so I do 2 3 pluses, right? The first 3 plus stops all of his bodyguards doing anything, and the second 3 plus stops both of his blitzers doing anything. And then I failed the first one. I only had to do 2 of them.
Yep. The fourth would have been the icing on the cake, but you needed 2 more to definitely work. I think 1 more would have made it tough for him. 2 more would have made it almost impossible. But they just didn't come.
Yeah.
The turn earlier, Jim, I do think after the blitz, I would have moved the strength 4 up the left flank.
It couldn't get anywhere though, PC. It would have to dodge to get like 2 squares forward. Like, what's the point?
Yeah, because it started on the ground, didn't it?
Yeah, if it'd been stood, I would have done. If it'd been stood up, I definitely would have done. But it was no.
But you did have 3 re-rolls, so I would have gone 5. I'd have used both rushes, you know me. I'd have pushed up the left flank. I'd have had the X-stunned one on the right and the one in the middle, so I'd have had 3 backfield pieces and really split the focus. But I understood you pulling back central to give you agency the next turn. With
that protected my my thing as well, right? It protected my protect my blockers in the middle, right? My blocker in the middle gets taken down. If you go up the side, the blocker in the middle gets knocked over. So
she would have done, and there would have been ball contact and all sorts of things.
It's not like I did anything wrong. I really don't think I did anything wrong. I just think there were pros and cons to different things, and I don't really.
I didn't think there was anything wrong. I mean, even when he broke through, as we said at half time, if you had put another one with that Amazon to prevent the swap back to the middle, it would have made the front weaker. Yeah. I'd have to have a long look at that to decide if I think there was one in the wrong place. But in the heat of the battle, you need to take a choice as to where you think they're going and how you stop them. And it did mean you got a sack chance, and you sacked. Just the ball went shit. And then we were out of re-rolls because you did 3 rushes for that sack, and 2 of them needed a re-roll.
Yeah. See, that's why I don't like doing rushes, PC. I'd put the rushes in, and I'd have this point. Well, maybe not. Maybe I'd gone for the handoff. I really thought about running through that turn when I ran.
Yeah, I liked that.
I didn't get the knockdown though. I think I could only do that if I got the knockdown. That was the problem. I looked at it, and it looked really horrible without the knockdown. I'll show you this one because that. Well, into everything. So this was fine, isn't it? Blocking him. And then yeah, maybe here, maybe I should have blocked with this one, right, rather than the edge one. But I liked that this was then a scoring threat. I thought that was a sneaky scoring threat in case.
Remember, we're behind you because you're catching up, so you're telling us things that we can't see yet.
Oh,
okay, we're now there.
Yeah. Well, you can see you're just ahead, right? PC, you're ahead.
No, because my client, I've closed it down.
No, but you're ahead to the voice.
Yes. Oh, yes, of course.
Yes.
Right, so I should shut up. It's me that's confusing.
Yeah, I'll stream it. You can see the Discord. So I did punch with the one that was like miles away, but the idea, and if I'd blocked with this one, then this one would have been stood for coming back towards the breakaway, and it would also been stopping the breakaway as well. But the thing is, I thought, I've got a sneaky scoring threat there, so you can definitely see I blocked with the wrong lino here. You can definitely say I blocked the wrong lino. But then that meant that I could move this lino further, right? So where did I move that lino? Let's see. It went 1, 2, 3, 4. So this one could have gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, so I could have had a Zon lino there instead of. And then this one could have been one over, I guess.
And then the one over the halfway line in nowhere land could have moved back and reinforced the centre.
Yeah, well, it would have been here. It would have been here.
Yeah.
That's where it could have been.
Yeah.
Which is all right. Like, it's better than where it is.
It's a better position than where the other one is, that's for sure, but yeah.
And then this just moved there to clog that up, and that could have been over here. I did think about maybe I should go somewhere, because, like, this is not easy for him, right? You can't... No. You could blitz there, and he can't really go anywhere. So this is reinforcing.
There's no way forward. We don't need that Amazon there, do we?
So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That could have gone there, and I could have had that there. So I could have had 3 players here, which would have been way better. So it wasn't really a mistake. It just wasn't anywhere near as good as it could have been.
No. Optimal positioning, I would say, but not a full-on mistake.
Yeah, and then that was just really unlucky. I could have at least had...
That was a really unlucky bounce. Yeah. Any bounce to the other side, and it's really hard for him. Yeah, it's just awful. Yeah. And then, of course, when he sacks you, the bounce is, again, not good for us.
Yes.
Harder for it to be good for us, but again, it was not good for us.
Yeah. And, like, he's playing good defences and everything, isn't he? Nightmare with a failed
Justicium is one of the best in the world, and he did play very, very well.
When did I go through? Turn 13 is when I went. I could have gone through. I think if I'd got the POW, I would have rolled all the dice. Honestly. On this turn, I think if I'd POW'd here, and I could have... I've only got 3, right? I just think if I POW, then I've got the cage corner already, haven't I? That's the thing.
Yeah, I mean, you know me, I'd have taken that space. I'd have thought, I've got 3 rerolls. The bodyguards have all got a dodge to move. I'll stand everything up and move it in there and just clog them up, and then I will push up this flank and see where it gets me.
I just didn't like it with him being based. If it had been down, I would have definitely gone for it.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah, these could have both gone on there, couldn't they? I could have put somebody on him. And then, this Son going out in there, like, completely... Like, this going to here and this going to here was great, right? Because that basically locks down all 5 of those players.
Exactly. Yeah, you can lock those down.
So I could have
to some degree.
This back player on there. This one on the ogre. This one has to go on the ogre. This one has to go on him. And then I've only got 2 more players to come with me to like make a cage. And then this is just on there. I just didn't like it. But yeah, maybe I should have done it. But again, it's not really a mistake, right? It's just maybe this is what I should have done.
Yeah, just choices that could have worked out equally shitty if you tried it.
Yeah. And Justicium just didn't need to re-roll anything ever. Just by the way.
No,
he didn't
played great.
Fail anything.
But he definitely had the dice. But he also had, some incredibly good plays. But the dice were with him today. That's for sure. But when someone as good as Justicium gets the dice, you're in trouble.
Yes.
You did make him do that desperate potato, which you had, only 3 rushes to sack.
Yeah.
A dodge as well, but 3 rushes and 1 3+ dodge to sack. And you did get the sack, but the bounce was awful. And then you failed that single after the dodge off. Admittedly, another 1 in 9 risk that you took and worked. Then just a 1 in 6 to put it somewhere that we thought very hard for them to score. But it didn't work. It didn't happen. That's Blood Bowl.
Justicium said my dices was crazy this evening. No fail.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, again, he's good enough at Blood Bowl to understand when not only has he played well, but he's also had the rub of the green.
Yeah.
And I think both of those were true tonight.
Yeah. I just needed.
It's fine. I'll just dice Siggy.
Yeah, if you could, please, that would be brilliant.
I will. Don't worry. It's sorted.
Also, I thought like the more that I just like Dorsey Door in front of him, the more chance that his Olga goes bonehead, right? But only went bonehead once in the whole game. Like that would have been good, wouldn't it?
Yes, he didn't do a lot of failing of anything, to be frank.
Yeah. And he didn't have to do a lot, did he? To be fair, I made lots more dodges than him. But
well, I do feel mentally I'm ahead of Siggy already because he's had a look at my last Goblin game, so presumably that will have terrified him.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we've got the fear over him. All I need to do is get any kind of result, and then we just hand it to PTK and say, take us home.
Yes, Big Kev for the win is a good plan, isn't it?
Look, even if I get a win, Jimmy, we still need something out of Kev. So, and the Goblins winning doesn't.
Good evening, little wrestlers. What can I do for you?
No, I think if you dice him to a draw and then Big Kev carries us home, that's the plan. Oh, yeah. Wendy says turn 14. Oh. Yeah, maybe I should have gone for it. Maybe I should have gone for it on turn 13. I did think about it a bit. But I just thought I needed him to be down, and maybe I didn't need him to be down. I also needed those 1 in 9s to work as well, to be fair. Like there was a lot, and I needed all the rushes to work. It was just like a lot of dice that didn't even guarantee me the score. Right, and that's the problem. But yeah, maybe I should have gone for it. So turn 14.
Oh yeah, this is the one where I thought the surf was on, but it's not. Amazon lineman was stunned, so you can't surf. Yeah.
Oh, you can click the turn on top. Thank you, Plo.
I mean, you can surf a retainer, can't you? You can 1 die it onto the edge and then 1 die it off, or even 2 die it off. Might have been worth trying that.
Turn 15. All right, there we go. Turn 15. Who can I blitz? You do the handoff when I ran through. I could have just handed off. Oh my god, I didn't even think of that.
Yep. 4+ score. Job probably done.
Yeah, that was probably better than all of the dodge. Well, I don't know if it was. Oh, let's have a look.
It's a 75% to make that handoff, Jim.
Yeah. But doing it my way, I had a block, and I just had 2 1 in 9 dodges, didn't I? 2 1 in 9s is about the same as 75, and also it's just better, right? Like the first one can pass, and the second one doesn't. Like, do you know what I mean? If the first one passes and the second one fails, he's still got to roll a full POW and pick it up and not get POW'd and not get recovered on. But yeah, I guess I could have just gone for that. I just didn't think of the 4+ handoff. I didn't even consider it. But it turns out probably worse, doesn't it? It couldn't be blitz. I had to blitz through, Randy. I had to blitz through. I couldn't have just dodged through and blitzed him off. I blitzed this guy. I had to blitz this guy and hit and run back. And
so you can't blitz twice. You had to blitz through to create the space, which I thought you did very well.
I did some good hit and runs.
I didn't originally like where the assist went in. I thought that was the space after the push that I was dodging into. But I slightly prefer it the way you did it, frankly.
Thank you.
So
it's the only.
Yeah, I thought that worked well, leaving only a single 3+ once you'd moved it. So
if I POW'd it, I could have.
Yeah, that was nice.
If I POW'd it, I could have hit and run there and assisted from here and knocked it over and not had to do any dodges. That was the plan.
And of course, because of stand firm, you can't move forwards here, which would have been the ideal way, because then the other strength 4 takes a hit and you run through with the remainers.
Yes.
So that 1 in 9 worked great.
I needed to POW this guy. If I'd POW'd this guy, everything goes through without dodging, which would have been amazing. And then I'd just score, right?
Yeah.
So maybe I could have re-rolled for the POW, you know? Like I just ended the game with re-rolls in hand, didn't I? Maybe I could have re-rolled for the POW.
I did think there were times you were quite conservative, but against a player like Justicium, if you're aggressive, he'll just rip you apart.
Right, we can have a look at 2 1 in 9s anyway. It's not hard to do, is it? With Samba, let's get a Samba up, and
2 1 in 9s as opposed to a 75%.
Yeah, the 2 1 in 9s is 79. So
yeah, I was going to say I think the 2 1 in 9s are better, but it still leaves a risk.
Yes, but then also I'd have to 1 in 9 with the ball anyway. Actually, wouldn't I? Even if I had handed off, I'd still have had to 1 in 9 away anyway. So that was actually substantially
worse. It gets it done. That's the good thing about it.
But then he gets a 2-turn chance.
He does. Well, I mean, you could have pulled up into the top left corner where only the retainer who was tagged would have 4+ to get to you, and the blitzers and guards, bodyguards would have been nowhere near. So you could have stalled it up fairly easily.
Okay, yeah, I could have stalled it, but he could still 1 in 6, and he'd have a reroll, so it'd still be 30% to power me. If you
yes,
got
he's
there.
75% to make the dodge with a reroll, and then it's 54% to make the hit. But even then, you can do what he did, which is just push him off, pick the ball up, and score.
Yeah.
So I think I would have tried that, but I didn't hate the plan you went for. And as you were doing it, I was calling. I think it's going to have to be, a load of 1 in 9s.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Jim, your dice at the moment, you're not going to make a load of 1 in 9s.
No, I probably wouldn't have made the 4+, would I? But yeah, I didn't think I should have thought of that. It was a good takeaway that I should have thought of the handoff and a tackle zone, but I just didn't even consider it. Just because I knew the 2 1 in 9s made it safe. That was the problem, right? I just knew the 2 1 in 9s made it. Very safe actually. If I made both of those, he can't even hit me. So yeah, like you'd have to uphill a blodger. Like that's what he was looking at, which is just stupid, isn't it? So, basically I would have scored. I don't even know what he would have done if I'd got that. So, anyway, thank you very much, PC. Lovely having you in the booth. And,
pleasure. We will chat offline about Tuesday.
Right, and good night, everybody. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and stay fantastic. And well played, Justicium. I don't want to act like I'm just moaning about dice here. He did play really well and made it very difficult. Bye now.